that I really want to talk about is knowing when to let go and how your body speaks to you to kind of give you those hints like, hey, maybe it's time to move on and this isn't serving you anymore. Whatever this is, whether it be a relationship, a space that you're living in, a friend, work, whatever it is, how does your body talk to you and give you that feeling of, oh, this probably isn't right anymore? And knowing that it's okay to let go of things as well. So a question that I wrote down was, how does your body speak to you? And I feel like that's something that you learn over time. Like, it's definitely not something that you understand like as a teenager. I mean, if you do, kudos to you, but this is something that I am learning now as an adult, really listening to my intuition and understanding when my body is giving me signals for certain things. And so if I ask myself, how does my body speak to me? Mine is through anger. And I feel like people hear the word anger. I hear the word anger and it still kind of startles me a little bit, because you think anger, you think bad, negative, you know, just not any, it just feels like such a negative emotion. And it's not at all. It is just, in my opinion, a harder emotion to navigate sometimes, at least through my own experience. You know, when it's time for me to let go of something and walk away, I get really angry, I get very agitated, I get really annoyed easily, and like to such a strong extent as well. And I, for such a long time, was somebody who would fight that feeling so hard because I would just not want to let go. I wouldn't want to accept that this part of my life has to end or this person in my life has to go, because I feel like I love so deeply. So when I have people in my life, or even just like a space in my life, or even a job, like, it can be so hard to walk away because it's also such a comfort zone. But waking up, you know, I would wake up every single day and just feel so angry. And it has happened to me with friendships, relationships, the space I was living in. For example, I lived with my mom when I was 21, 22 years old, and I would wake up every day so angry. My mom is just, love her, but the way that she lived was very different to the way that I live. And I would just be so angry and irritable about certain things she was doing, or if I'm trying to meditate and I hear her music downstairs, she's always music blasting type of woman, right? And I would get so angry, and I would just think like, I'm so over this. And I knew it was because it was time for me to move. It was time for me to go, and eventually I did, and that anger settled, and I had to put in some work in relations to like my relationship with my mom, but that's a different story. But understanding where my anger is coming from, last year, like a majority of last year, I was living with my boyfriend at the time, and I would wake up so angry every day. And let me say that nothing negative about the relationship itself at all. The healthiest, most positive relationship I've ever had. But I always had this gut feeling like, this isn't right for me. And I never really understood why. But I would wake up angry every day, and I would just not understand why I was so angry. I would sit down, I would meditate on the anger, try to release the anger, and it was just there, like almost 24/7 for almost the entire year last year. And I would go through points where I would talk to him about it. I would, you know, try to pinpoint like, why am I so angry? You know, this, that, and the third. And when I finally realized, like, it's telling me to move on. I have this gut feeling in me, and I know that this space right now, this isn't what's right for me anymore. You know, my love was changing, the way that I felt was changing, and it's so hard when that happens because it's like you don't understand why. Like especially with that, like if I could just, that could just be it for the rest of my life, and I would be so happy and so content, and like that's what I would have chosen that. But that was just not what my body was telling me. My body was telling me that there's more for you. There's more for you. You have to listen to me. So I'm going to keep giving you this feeling stronger and stronger and stronger until you finally listen to me. Because there is a life out there for you that you are meant to live, and I will not stop until you get there. That is really, looking back now, what it feels like my body was telling me, because of how strong that anger was. And not anger where I wanted to just like smash things and yell or anything like that. It was just like this deep rooted anger inside of my chest where it was just like, Sydney, this is not right for you. You have to move on. You have to let go, and you just have to trust me. And that's all that I have. That's like what it felt like the universe was saying to me. I can't give you anything more. Just trust the process. And I fought that for a very long time until finally it came down, and I was like, I literally will shrivel up if I do not just listen to myself, because it is trying to tell me what to do. And I want to get to where I am meant to be. Like, I want to live the dream life that I envision for myself. We all have a life for ourselves that we want to create, you know, and I want to manifest these things, but I can't if I ignore my own gut feeling, you know. And so I learned that when my body is giving me, because I had that similar feeling before a long time ago with friendships as well, and there was so much, you know, I was young, that I wasn't doing right as well, and my body was making me feel the same way, angry, irritable, annoyed, like not getting along. And looking back now, I understand so much that I had to let go to get to where I am now. I had to let go so that I could heal, so that I could learn and understand why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, why I was reacting the way that I would react. You know, reacting to things is it can be so unhealthy, at least for me sometimes, because I can just feel in my spirit when I react so quickly to something, how much it can hurt me. And then you have to put the work in to get through that all over again and to heal through that. And I think that's something, you know, over time, like I have gotten so much better at, but it still happens sometimes. And but just listening to my body and understanding that similar feeling and knowing like, wow, I wouldn't have gotten here if I didn't finally just listen to that feeling and just let go. So I just have to do that again, and I've done it once, so I know I can do it again, and I will get through it. And I did, and now I live in my own apartment, and it's still pretty new, but I'm getting there, and that anger isn't there anymore. It's gone. And that also validates to me that that was the right decision. You know, and everybody's body speaks them so differently, and so it does make me curious, because I don't have a lot of people that I like have these kind of conversations with. So I hope that I can like meet a lot more people who are down to talk about this kind of stuff, because I get so intrigued, like, how does other people's bodies speak to them? You know, I can't guarantee that it's through just everybody feels angry when it's time to move on or leave something, you know what I mean? So it's like, how does your body tell you like when it's time? And I wrote some notes, and I'm seeing here that it says, like, for such a long time I just thought that I was like an angry person. You know, I had a rough childhood growing up. I had a lot of reasons to be angry and to be mad at people for the way that they acted or the way they treated me. And you know, I had to sit down and have hard conversations just with myself to understand that this is the other people's first time existing as well. You know, and obviously certain people, it's like, okay, they're not meant to be in your life. And other people, it's like, obviously, you know, it's different, and like family to the core. but I thought that I was an angry person because of things I have gone through in my life, and I just thought maybe I'm just meant to be angry, and I'm not. That feeling maybe does stem from like when I grew up. It's like I would feel angry so much growing up, and I was just silent. Anyone who knew me when I was middle school, high school, I was quiet. I did not talk. I would like hang out with people all the time, but if I wasn't fully comfortable with you, I was so shy. So many people knew me that way, and I was just always told like I was the nicest, I was the sweetest person ever, I was so kind. It's because I didn't speak. And obviously I still like believe that I was kind in all of those things, but in that way it's because I was shy and quiet. And you know, when you're shy and quiet and you don't speak up, how can you be rude? How can you be a mean or bad person, you know? And I feel like now, even just like connecting the dots a little bit, like I actually was really, really angry growing up. I never acted on it. I never reacted on it for a very, very long time. But, you know, I kind of had a shitty life growing up. Not absolutely horrible, nothing like super detrimental, but nothing super amazing either. And I had so much anger just every single day just stemming in me. And I think that's now why my body speaks to me in that way, because I understand when I feel that specific way, I know, okay, this is not good for me. And now I think a big part of the process is learning like, okay, if I'm like angry and irritated about something little, like that's different than this specific feeling of anger. You know, it's two different kind of feelings. But yeah, and just not giving into that anger anymore as well is a huge part of the growing process. Like I stopped reacting to the anger, and I started listening to it, and it's actually like my biggest guide. Like it's my strongest guide, which I don't know if I love so much, but it really is. So I am so curious, like the way that other people, you know, how they experience this kind of stuff. And you know, it's okay to let go, and I'm learning that more and more the older that I get, and the more that you have to make harder decisions that you know are right, even though in that moment like they are very, very hard. That if you just listen, like you are being guided directly to where you are meant to be. So make those hard decisions, because in the end it is going to be totally worth it. And when you know deep down that like you're meant for something different, trust that feeling and trust the process, even if it's difficult, because it is genuinely leading you exactly where you are meant to be. You know, and it may take time, but who cares? There's no right or wrong, and there's no certain path that you're supposed to be on. This one, exactly every single day that you're waking up, and when you continue to listen to yourself, the more you will just get led right there. It's literally like a drawn out map. But you know, if you ignore it, the universe is going to listen to that as well, you know, if you're going to ignore it. But it's never going to stop trying. It's never going to give up on you. So even when it's scary, you want to take that leap, especially if you have that gut feeling that you're meant to more, or you are meant for more. So, okay. Thanks for coming to my chit chat.